everyone. Well, this video is for, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry, Sai? S-A-I? Who left a message on my review on this model. Don't ask me what it is, I'm going to have to look that up. I wanted to know about the detergent door and had never had a dishwasher before. I feel like such an entitled jerk, you know, like assuming that everybody would know, you know, I guess just, I'm usually one of the last people around here to have stuff, so I assumed people would know where it was, but like I'm giving this a little clean around the edge. You know, it gets gross right here. This is a good idea too, so I'll show you that. So it's been a while. You know, I still have the same dishwasher, thank goodness. But they're all pretty much the same. Usually you're going to find it in the door, and I could see where it would be confusing if you didn't know where to put the detergent. And if you can't, you know, maybe if English isn't your first language, or you just, you know, inherited the machine, you don't have the booklet. Now usually you can get a manual on manualsonline.com. It's manualsonline.com, and you just look up the model number and they will actually your model number. If you don't have your model number, you don't have your booklet, you'll find it in here on the inside of the frame. So there'll be a number over there, and I won't go into that because I had eye surgery, so I can't really even see that, but I'm pretty sure that's the account number. But I can see what would be kind of confusing is you have things like this. I have never been able to figure out what exactly, you know, I wanted to take this out. If I really worked with it, I probably could, but I think it's some kind of little filter or whatever, but I've never opened that. But I've had to, like, sometimes a little mold will get in here. It looks like it needs to be cleaned right now. But I've used like a Q-tip and some vinegar, and I can clean, you know, I like to clean that out, but I really like to clean that well, but I can't get in there. But anyway, but this is actually the detergent door. And some models of dishwashers, it might be here, or it might be here, or here, you know, whatever. It's just part of their design. These things are, these are just like bumpers, I think, to cushion the silverware drawer. And so you don't have to worry about that. But this is where it gets confusing, because you have this thing and you have this thing. Well, right here it'll say, at least on my machine, it's an American, you know, it might be different wherever you are, but it does say detergent right here. But the only reason I can see it really well right now, the light is hitting it just right. But otherwise, unless you're like 12 inches away from it like me, you really can't read that. And this says Cascade, so that kind of clues you in right there. But there's a little triangle, so that's your arrow telling you to push this in. You like that? Ah! It hits your thumb and you scream. No, not really. It sounds violent, but it's really, that was easy. My thumb was just in the way. It's just like that. Boom. And now, and I also, let me show you what I use. Let me clean this. It won't hurt to clean that out either. So it gets water in there. And if you, like in the case of, I think it's Sai's case, he or she, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that name, or, you know, I'm not going to try not to assume your gender, but, you know, if it's wet in there and you're using a powder, it can kind of get clumpy in there. So it's a good idea to take a paper towel and make sure you don't, or if you just really see a lot of visible water that has pooled in there, you want to dab it out. And when I was growing up, we always used powder, but it has just become so much easier now to use this kind of thing, these pod deals. And these are not my favorites. They come in this foil thing, and you have to stop and unwrap it. But on the other hand, they don't get all stuck together. The ones that they have, I'm not sure if I have any like that right now, but there are some others that I had that, oh, here we go, that are, get out of here, come on. Here we go. See, these are those, oh, these are power balls. Okay, these are hard too. These are power balls that are not wrapped. They're tablets. But then there is a kind, and I don't have any, but there's a kind that is they're gel tabs, and so the outside is kind of like, I guess it's a glycerin or something, that, so you don't have to unwrap anything, but they're kind of like a Jello or glycerin, where they, if you reach in the bin with your hands wet, and you touch it, it kind of like melts one, and you can have one kind of, it makes it kind of stick to the other, and then you try to just pull one, and it yanks some of that outer coating, and then you've got a mess. You've got the liquid all over, you know, out of the gel pack. So anyway, but with these, you just unwrap them, and it's a tablet, but it does need to be unwrapped. And it goes, you know, I just set it in here and go like that. Obviously unwrapped, but I'm not gonna. Now look what I've done. Can't get it out. Okay, so, but most of the time when I open the dishwasher after I've run a cycle, it's going to be like this. It's going to already be open because the little door opened during the wash cycle. So, and I think I talked about it in this other video, but I'm going to mention it again. Just say we've got our detergent in there, and you've got it closed up, and it runs. Well, if you have, if you put tall implements in here, and this was actually in their manual, and you put tall implements in here like, you know, big spoons or spatulas or whatever, they can sometimes interfere with this door opening, because once you, look at my nails, once you close this, then this is here, and the things that are here can interfere with that opening. So it can keep the detergent from coming out into the machine. So what I do is I just put like a little, something's yucky. Ugh. Every once in a while you do want to clean this up. But anyway, I put like little measuring spoons and things like that there. And that way I can still use that space. It was nice of them to still allow this space, but I think for a company it would have been smarter maybe to have a basket here and a basket here. Because this gives people the idea, you know, just people, if it's there, people like to load it up. And that leads to probably unhappiness with this not opening because people don't know that, and they don't read the book, or they don't have the book. So I would have just left that out of it. But it did come with this, also came with this, let's call it an auxiliary tray. But I like it. I like the little slots that it has. It keeps the silverware from banging into each other and stuff, but it's handy. It's almost, you know, it's really nice to have something for smaller items. So stick them in there. You can put that little basket anywhere. I like to put it there, but you can put it anywhere you want. Okay, so back to this. Now the reason you have this thing, you go, what's that little window about? Let's see if I remember how to open it. Yeah. Now here it says rinse aid, and it says cascade, and that's where it gets even more. Even if you have cascade on there, it may not make sense to you. But this is where you put that, you can buy a Cascade or different brands. It's like it's a rinse aid that kind of keeps spots from getting on glassware. And it needs to be cleaned up. Everything's got, see what happens? You can get an idea about how it has getting a little cruddy, you know, starting to get a little cruddy over time. So I have to stop and do a little maintenance. I mean, it says right here, that's for minimum. That's, gosh, you got to clean everything with a paper towel so you can read it. Minimum, and then I think that probably says maximum, but it's the symbol is tiny here and then becomes wider there. Oh, okay, so it's turned. I didn't realize they even had a knob. Isn't that interesting? See, minimum or maximum, and so you decide how much you want. I think it was automatically set on the maximum, and I had a little bottle of rinse aid, and you can buy these, and you just pour it in there. It seems like I got with the little bottle, you fill it up about 3 times or something like that. But when you put it in and it's blue, once it's full, this is just like a little window, and you'll see inside that, instead of it looking clear like it does right there, looks like a little diamond. It's pretty. It will turn blue. And then you're like, okay, I got enough. Now, I don't have any rinse aid in here right now. Is that a problem? No. Don't care. You don't have to do rinse aid. That's kind of like, you know, in your clothes washing machine, you have fabric softener. But you don't have to. You know, it's just, that's kind of a preference. So you don't have to do the rinse aid either. But if you have a lot of clear glasses and you're really, really bothered by spots on your knife or something, go for it. Spend extra money and you can put the rinse aid in there. I don't even think I have any right now. But that's all there is. That's all there really is to that. And the only other thing, like, you know, I think I showed this in the other video too, that this is a but in case you missed it on the other one side, you can't see the light real well, but this is it's a rubber round thing, and just kind of turn it like you're taking off a lid, and it's like a little filter. That looks gross right now, but I just rinsed it. I rinse it every few days, and it kind of gets a little bit of buildup on it. You just put it back down in there and then just tighten it up again. Just tighten it really good. So, and in that, I don't think there's a little drainage thingy there. You don't have to worry anything about that. I guess the only other thing you want to know with having a dishwasher, it was your first dishwasher, which, by the way, congratulations. I can't imagine. I remember back in the 70s, our family got our first microwave, and like we had to read the manual, and we didn't know. Like, can you imagine like people not knowing what to do with a microwave? But we didn't know. We had to learn like what you could put in it and what you couldn't. Just it was like a totally different kind of thing. And now it's just, people from the day they were born, they had a microwave in their house. That just seems so weird to say that. But anyway, that's it. And it is a good idea every once in a while if you can kind of wipe down this door. It can get kind of a buildup of the soap. But, you can run like a quarter cup. How many milliliters did I say that was? I had to look on a measuring cup to get the metric because I'm not good with metric. But anyway, I don't have metric on this measuring cup. I think it was 150 milliliters or something like that. But every once in a while, you can run some vinegar in here, and you don't have to put it in here. You could just run it empty dishwasher. Sometimes people do that, or maybe put you can put your toothbrushes in there, and your hair combs and whatever, and you just pour some vinegar, white vinegar in here, and just run the machine. And see, here's a noodle. Here's a spaghetti noodle that did not. So, every once in a while you got to do that kind of thing. So, but it's a good idea to wipe it down. But that's all there is to it. Other than that, you want to follow the manufacturer warnings. Like, if the water coming in from your water heater and coming in on this water line, if it's too hot, it can damage your machine. So if you have maybe a digital, usually like a digital meat thermometer, you can run the water as hot as you can in your sink into a glass, and then put that digital thermometer in there. And I believe it's not supposed to be over about 130. Maybe it's supposed to be lower than that. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. But you don't want the water to be too hot because you don't want to damage the machine. So, and this little thing, Clean and Dirty, something my mom had. It's a magnet. It's supposed to help you, like if you have clean dishes in there. So anyway, I always forget it's there. But anyway, that's not part of the machine. So anyway, well, I hope that helps you. And I hope you enjoy having a dishwasher. And I don't know. This is probably my favorite thing in the whole house. I couldn't live without. I'm slow washing. You can wash dishes by hand. It just takes a while. So anyway, good luck with it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to help. Thanks. Bye. I can't believe somebody